service here at the Valley Railroad. The Valley Railroad was opened in 1871. It was a way to get from the steamy confines of Hartford, with all that political hot air, down to the cool, breezy shoreline in Old Seabrook, Connecticut. The line offered both passenger service and freight service originally. Passenger service succumbed to America's growing love affair with the automobile in 1933. But freight service actually lasted on the line until 1968, by which time this line had first been absorbed by the New Haven Railroad, part of J.P. Morgan's transportation monopoly here in southern New England. And then in 1968, when the New York Central and Pennsylvania Railroads moved to merge their great systems and form the Penn Central Company, the Interstate Commerce Commission, in its infinite wisdom, decreed that they should take on board the ailing New Haven Railroad as a condition of the merger. Now, those of you that are fans of railroad history or students of business history will remember that the Penn Central merger didn't go very well, because in less than 2 years, in June of 1970, the Penn Central went belly up in what was then the biggest bankruptcy in American history. Now you may be wondering, why am I telling you sad tales of business failures and bankruptcies? Well, it turns out that that was actually a good thing for all of us, because by the late 1960s, the Penn Central was moving to sell anything it could get its hands on in a desperate bid to raise cash and survive. And one of the things they tried to do was abandon this rail line and sell it for scrap. Fortunately, some local rail enthusiasts teamed up with the state of Connecticut. Connecticut approached the then new Land and Water Conservation Fund in Washington, D.C., and they secured a federal grant to turn the lower 22 miles of the line into this, the Connecticut Valley Railroad State Park, which it remains to this day. They then chartered the new Valley Railroad Company, this company, and they started offering us, they leased us the state park so that we could start offering steam train excursion services, which we did starting on July 29th, 1971, exactly 100 years to the day of the opening of the original Valley Line. And for those of you that are quick math studies, you will have noticed that it's now 50 years since we started service and 150 years from the founding of the original line. Now, our train this evening has 5 cars in addition to our locomotive 0902. Electric locomotive built in 1953 and last owned by the United States Air Force, from whom we purchased it in Utah a few years ago. Now, at the throttle of 0902 is Tom, our very capable engineer, who will see us safely over the line today. Immediately behind 0902 are our 3 dining cars. The first is the Middletown. That's the blue car with the gold or yellow trim on the outside. Immediately behind the Middletown is the Wallingford, the car with the beige and tan interior. And then finally, the third dining car is the Meredith, the car with the gray interior and the maroon accents. Leading up behind Meredith is our 1953 Army kitchen car, Colonial Heart. Now, with the exception of the crudité and some crackers and things like that, the entirety of your meal tonight has been cooked aboard Colonial Heart from fresh ingredients, exactly the way it would have been done during the heyday of the dining car era in the United States. And I promise you that the meal you'll get tonight will be far better than anything the Army slopped out in 1953. And if not, just come see me on the complaint department. Now, a couple of quick safety announcements. There are 2 ways out of each one of the coaches. The door through which you entered a little earlier this evening, and another door just like it at the opposite end of the car. In the unlikely event of a water landing in the Connecticut River tonight, your chair is your personal flotation device. Please carry it with you on your way out the car. In the even less likely event that we lose cabin pressure, air masks will drop down from the clear story, and just like on the airplane, please be sure to put your mask on first before helping any of your table mates, no matter how beautiful they may be. Seriously though, folks, as your conductor, I'm here for 2 basic reasons. The first is to ensure your safety and comfort. The second is to answer any questions you might have about railroads in general, the Valley Railroad, our train, or our journey tonight. In the event I don't know the answer to your question, I will do my very best to make up a believable response. So now, the final thing is a word about the restrooms. There are restrooms aboard each car. In the Middletown, that restroom is at the south end of the car. In other words, away from the direction of travel right now. In the Wallingford, that restroom is at the north end of the coast, so in the direction of travel right now. And in the Meridian, again, it's in the south, away from the direction of travel. Gentlemen, it is a unisex facility, so you know the rules. Welcome aboard, everybody. Enjoy your meal on your journey.